Yo, what's up, everybody? I scheduled my entire day around the TBC pre-patch coming out today, and well, Blizzard delayed it by just about 6 hours, so I absolutely have no idea what I want to do with my time, and I wanted to do something productive, so I had a really stupid, goofy video idea a couple days ago. Well, somebody asked me about it on stream, and I thought it would be hilarious to make a tier list on classes I'm afraid of in the TBC arena. So this is going to be 2s and 3s. Now, let me preface it. I know people are going to get pissed off already, disliking, commenting, or hate. I get it. This is not an official ranking of the classes. This is 100% my personal opinion and based off my experiences on the couple of arena private servers I played in classes that I just straight up don't like fighting as an arms warrior. If you guys know me, I'm going to be maining arms warrior in TBC. I'm going to play a bunch of different classes for fun, but I will be maining arms warrior just because that's the class I have the most fun with. So today's video is titled Classes That I'm Afraid to Fight in the Arena Tier List. Okay? Cool. So with that out of the way, go ahead and let me know how I'm an idiot or how whatever I'm saying is wrong in the comments below. But this is 100% my preference. So first off, I'm really afraid in the TBC arena of Death Knights. Blood is just super... No, I'm kidding. All right, obviously, I just took this tier list because... well, I was too lazy to make my own. I'm not going to bullshit you guys. Okay, so we have Druid, Hunter, Rogue, Mage, Paladin, Shaman, Warlock, Warrior, and Priest. I don't necessarily agree with these tiers. I don't think any class is that bad per se in the arena. But as a Warrior, it's pretty easy to tell you guys which classes I hate fighting the most. So let's start with the elephant in the room. All right. Mages are just absolutely insane. I completely re-rolled my character from scratch. Straight up, went from human to gnome from the ground up with like 1 month left in Classic because I hate fighting these things so much. You are going to see so many mages in the arena, it will make your head spin. I really do feel bad for all the non-gnome alliance warriors. Horde are fine as warriors, right? Your racials are okay, I guess. But as alliance, man, you night elf warriors, you human warriors, it sucks trinketing a Frost Nova when you pop all your cooldowns and try to kill something, and then just sitting in a full, poly or cyclone or whatever it is. It's a rough life fighting a mage. On top of, I don't want to shit on any mage players, but the truth is, Frost Nova, Ice Lance, this stuff just dies. I mean, they have so many tools between Ice Block, Ice Barrier, they get Cold Snap too. They get a pet which has a Frost Nova. I mean, the amount of tools and utility and damage that this class has is just insane. So honestly, I think as far as I can tell, I put mages in a tier of their own. I know a lot of people, this will be a nice transition, hate Warlocks. Personally, as a warrior, I mean, their little Fell Hunter, Devour Magic gimmick doesn't really gimp a warrior too hard. Another thing with Warlocks too is if you them and force them to do like life taps, I find that to be a pretty easy win condition as a warrior. They're just, I mean, Warlocks make it hard on your healer. But I don't really care about my healer, right? I just care about seeing big numbers on my screen and killing their guy before they kill my healer. So I don't personally hate Warlocks, but I definitely think they are strong. But when compared to mages, mages are definitely just one level above them. And speaking of which, rogues. Rogues are not too fun to fight as a warrior, especially in arena. I don't mind rogues out in the open world, but these guys can stall. They have so much utility, Cloak of Shadows, Shadow Step, even Deadly Throw is really good. They have so much utility in TBC that they didn't have in Classic that they really just become with Cheat Death too, they have survivability, they have control, they have burst damage, they have everything you want in an arena class. They're just they're made for PvP. It really sometimes feels like as playing a warrior, rogues are just like the better warrior. Does that mean I don't know how else to put that. They have more control, they have more burst damage, and their survivability is actually not that bad. I like fighting rogue because I love melee versus melee, and I just love fighting rogue personally to warrior. Thank God for overpower, otherwise it would be straight up impossible. But at least it's fun, so that's why the rogue isn't up here with the mage. Now, as far as fun goes as well, I have to put the warrior. They're very fun to fight, but the warrior mirror match, it really feels like it just comes down to parries most of the time. Like whoever's parrying more or gets lucky with mace stuns or gets lucky with crits. I mean, warrior v warrior, again, I love it out in the open world, super fun matchup. But in arena, I mean, on Endless, it wasn't uncommon to have 45-minute like warrior versus druid games where you're just waiting for the druid to get caught in an intercept stun into a mace stun. And they're not the most fun mirrors for sure, at least for me personally. But what is even worse than a warrior by far, I mean, if we're talking a fun matchup, dude, hunters blow. Fighting a hunter in TBC, I mean, I'm a gnome. I re-rolled again for gnome, so it's not terrible. But dude, these guys, if you thought they're good at kiting in classic, just wait till TBC. It is insanely hard to kite, to get in on a good hunter, as well as their insane amount of burst damage that they get. It's just nuts. Hunters, I think all 3 specs too. None of them are really bad. Each one is useful in a different way. I don't think survival is as good as the others, but just the amount of, survivability that a hunter has from being able to kite you, being able to burst you down when they want, and being able to mana drain your healer, it really makes you feel like you're playing the hunter's game, and that's why I put him in the A tier, I guess, here. It's too much, man. They have a lot of pressure, and they're kind of like made to kite. I mean, obviously, right? That's what a hunter does. They're just made to kite, which can be very, very frustrating as a warrior. But on a lighter note, the Paladins, super, super fun matchup. I think warriors have every single advantage. I'm not scared of them at all, to be honest with you. I think that the problem with Paladins, they just have bubble. That's really it. They have Hajj and bubble. And once they use their Hajj, you survive that. Well, now they just sit there and have to hard cast anything. I mean, the thing that makes Druid so just unbelievably strong in TBC is the fact that they don't have to hard cast too much. And when they do hard cast, they can do it on really good things like Cyclone or Entangling Roots, or really just game-changing spells. Whereas a Paladin pretty much is hard casting for almost every one of their heals, which is kind of easy as a warrior to just get those rebukes off and stack sunders if you need to. Or it's just Paladins, out of all the healers, you can see the healers are all we have left here. Out of all the healers, I'm not afraid of Paladins at all. They don't scare me one bit. I love fighting a Paladin. I love seeing a Paladin healer. It's fantastic as a warrior. On the opposite end of that, we have the Druid. Now, I'm torn because I'm going to be partnering pretty much every game I play. I plan to have a Druid with me on my warrior. They're just insane. As far as, I guess this tier list is classes that I'm afraid to fight. I guess I would have to put them in A tier as well. The amount of mobility and control. I always joke with my chat, like a Druid picks one guy, especially in twos. It picks one guy and he goes, "You're not playing the game." And he just roots him and cyclones him, and that guy cannot press buttons ever. That Druid just takes that guy out of the game. Even if your bash and cyclones and roots are on DR, you still have cheetah form and cat form and even bear form to be a tank. Like Druids, just as far as healers go, they're built for TBC. Everybody knows this by now. I could spend an hour talking about all the tools Druids have. I want to keep this video relatively short and goofy, so I'm not going to go into all their tools, but I'll be playing 3s most likely, Warlock, Warrior Druid, and 2s Warrior Druid, right? I mean, they're just made for the arena. I love them on my team. I hate them on the other team, is how I would put it. And then the remainder 2 classes here, I have Shaman. Now, Shaman, again, I'm actually going to put in C tier. Shamans don't scare me. They don't have a crazy amount of CC. Their mobility is not... As a warrior, it's not too hard to stick on a Shaman, even like an Orc Shaman, I guess. Now, Shaman, what's interesting about these 2 being next to each other, though, is Shaman and Ret together is a different story. This 2's comp against a warrior is actually really scary. A Ret Shaman and a Ret Paladin and a Resto Shaman, they just nuke. They're the definition of a nuke, bursty, like they just set you up and they just get lucky with those Wind Furies and you just kind of explode on the screen. So I would have them higher up if they played together, but by themselves, Shamans just, I mean, they're not too bad. Enhancement, if you're doing like certain, I think they're called turbo comps, they can be a little scary, but you put a Shaman next to a Druid or a Mage, I mean, it's just like the Mage looks like Optimus Prime and the Shaman looks like that Transformer that like turned into a canoe or whatever.
When there's a battle on a gently moving river, you'll want me.
Like, you can tell, you can really feel the difference. And that leaves our last class, I guess the only one I'll put in B tier. Obviously ignore D, right? So, the Priest I put in B tier. I think Shadow is super, super scary. Priests get access to like Shadow Word Death, which is a super strong cooldown. Everybody knows what Shadow Word Death is by now from retail. But Shadow Word Death is just absolutely nuts for Shadow. Rogue Shadow Priest is a super fun, super strong comp. It's one of my least favorite comps to fight. But again, if as a warrior, Psychic Scream, like if you're in Berserker stance, it's not the end of the world. What really sucks about the Priest, and the only reason that I don't have them in C, is Mass Dispel in TBC is crazy useful. And being able to just like remove good stuff off the enemy whenever you want. I mean, even things like Ice Block is super game changing. And I personally, like I was saying, I'll be running most of my arenas with a Druid just for like uber sweaty tryhardness. But for fun, I actually want to play with Disc Priest, because Disc Priest, they have the ability of a little bit of CC with Mind Control and Psychic Scream. The survivability is a little weak, right? But where they really shine is if you are setting up your burst or you're setting up a kill on somebody, the Priest can actually put out some crazy DPS, especially when they combine that with their ability to just like remove buffs and debuffs and all that stuff. They basically, like, with power infusion and their smites and a couple lucky crits, they can turn into a DPS every couple seconds or a couple minutes with their cooldowns and just help you kill something. And I think that makes for higher skill ceiling, more fun, faster games, right? Whereas with Warrior Druid, which is my favorite, comp in the entire game, I don't feel that. I feel like I have to set up 90% of it when it comes to the damage, and the Druid is just mostly there for control. It's kind of the same thing with Priest, except the Priest isn't there for control. He's there for burst. And again, that makes it more fun. So go ahead and let me know why I'm an idiot in the comments. Remember, this is not a tier list, like an official strongest class tier list. This is just classes that I'm afraid of fighting, right? So Mage is the scariest. And I guess these are not in any particular order, but I would say Paladin's the least scariest for sure. So let me know what your thoughts are. I'd actually like to know what class you guys are most afraid of fighting in the arena. I know this is a stupid and simple and goofy video, but I'm literally sitting here twiddling my thumbs until pre-patch comes out. So hopefully I'll see you guys during some of the pre-patch streams. And yeah, again, I say this a lot, but I really do want to know y'all's thoughts on like what's going to be strong and what's not going to be strong in arena. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Good luck on your farms, and I'll see y'all in the pre-patch. Take it easy, guys. Thank you so much for watching.